Chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Shreshtham Manamapi Shachiputra Swarupam Rupam Tasyagrajam Urupurim Matpurim Goshtavatim Radha Kundam Girivaramaho Radhika Madhavasham Prapto Yasya Pratita Kripaya Shri Gurum Tamnatosmi Vandeham Shri Guru Shriyatah Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. I've been speaking on Sri Vishnu Sahasranama in different parts of the world. Here in South India, it's most appreciated. Is there some seats they can sit? Make some space for them. Okay, come please. There's no space, but you can make some more. Like dissolving salt in water. There's no place for it to go, but it can go. You know that? When you put salt in water, the quantity of water doesn't increase. Because the sodium and chloride, the ions, they separate and they hide in between the hydrogen and the oxygen. So the actual volume doesn't increase. Somehow or other I remembered that from school. Anyway, I just crossed the 500 mark, so by Krishna's grace I'm halfway through, and I pray for the mercy of devotees that I may be able to go on and finish 1000 and go on life after life glorifying the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So you've all heard many names of Krishna or Vishnu. Krishna, Vishnu, Narayana, Hari, Govinda, Gopinath, Madhusudana, Madhava, Damoda. These are all names you've heard. How many of you are aware of the name Sarira Bhuta Brit? How many know this name? Only those who go through Vishnu Sahasranama. Otherwise it's not a well-known name like Damoda, Govinda, like these names. Govinda, Damodara, Madhava, not like that. They're not such well named. It's in that order, Govinda, Damodara, Madhava. Comes in the Bhagavatam and then in that whole prayer. So this is name 501 in Vishnu Sahasranama, Sarira Bhuta Brit. So Sarira, please if you'd like to take photos, I'll sit after the class, but please just listen now. It's more important. So do you all know what the word Sarira means? In North India everyone knows. Sarira is also there in Tamil, huh? It's a known word. Sarira means the body. And you know the word bhuta. Usually people take this word to mean ghost. Do you know that word? Do you know that word bhuta? For ghost also. But in this context it has a completely different meaning. It means constituent. Element, constituent. And Brit means holder, who holds. So Sarira Bhuta Brit means who holds all the elements of the body together. Now Krishna holds everything together. Or if we want to be very precise, we can say Vishnu holds everything together. This is Vishnu Sahasranama. And it is Vishnu. There's Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. So Vishnu is the maintainer of the material world. He holds everything together. He describes himself in Bhagavad Gita, his Paramatma, Vishnu feature, as Sarvabhrit, who holds everything. So the scientists, they're trying to find the one principle of everything. They're trying to find some mathematical formula that will describe everything. Now, in this verse of Vishnu Sahasranam, one of the names given, which as I already spoke on, is Jnanagamya, which is also a name given in the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, which describes the Paramatma. Vishnu, in his aspect of holding everything together, knowing everything in this material world. So Jnanagamya means he can be approached by knowledge, but not by mathematical knowledge. Actually, mathematics can describe Vishnu also, but secondarily. By mathematics you won't find Vishnu, you have to find there's another method of knowledge. That is the knowledge that Krishna himself gives in Bhagavad Gita and the system of giving it, which he describes at the beginning of the 4th chapter as that knowledge which is given by himself and received in spiritual disciplic succession. By understanding Bhagavad Gita, discussing the names in Vishnu Sahasranama, we can come to understand. As we can come to understand Krishna. Yeah, okay. Please come in again so that others can sit down. We need a new temple. Any one of you who has 1 or 2 acres of land or a few crores of rupees to purchase it, you kindly give, and then we'll have a bigger temple. Yeah, that was nice saying Haribol and clapping, but we needed the land actually. This is Jai Gopinath Das, you all know him very well, stand up. He has no interest in anything material whatsoever, but he's very interested to get some land in Chennai. So many people would like to get land in Chennai and build a building and live there comfortably. So he also wants to get land in Chennai and build a building, but not for himself, for worshipping Krishna. So you can do the needful, as Prabhupada would say. Anyone who has land or can help with that, you tell him and then he'll build a big temple and there'll be enough space. Actually, we need stadiums. The stadium in Chennai can seat how many people? Cricket games? 50,000. So we need at least that. People should come to hear about Krishna. Anyway, for now we'll just settle for 2 acres of land. Okay, you can sit now. So the knowledge, what is that knowledge? Who is Krishna? That is described here. Bhagavad Tattva Vijnanam, the scientific knowledge of Krishna. We should try to understand this science. What holds the body together? Actually, one thing we should consider first. If Krishna is already called Sarvabhrit, he holds everything, which means he holds everything together, then why say separately Sarira bhuta bhrit? We take our bodies very seriously. We identify with the body. We feel happiness and pain via the body. Actually, it's via the mind, but definitely there are sensations of pleasure and pain via the body. Every morning one man comes here on a bicycle saying, "Idiapo." So people like to buy because they think it will give some, and probably it does, some pleasure on the tongue. Our devotees don't buy it because they only take food offered to Krishna, cooked by devotees with love and devotion. But it gives an example of how there is pleasure via the body. There's also pain via the body. And if we examine, there's probably a lot more pain than there is pleasure. Has anyone here had let's take the example of a tooth. That's a good one. How much pleasure can you get from your tooth? Not much. Difficult to think what pleasure. You can enjoy the cracking of some crispy foods. Not much pleasure from the teeth. What about pain from the teeth? Everyone knows, huh? Everyone knows how much pain you can get from the teeth. So the body is a vehicle of pleasure and pain, all experienced via the mind. And the mind is the main repository of pleasure and pain. And we all identify with the body, unless one is very spiritually advanced. So what is this body? Let us consider. According to modern science, it is composed, the body is composed mostly, at least what I learned at school. They might have changed their mind since then, but it's mostly composed of water, which is a lot of hydrogen and a lot of oxygen. And there's a lot of carbon in the body also. And there are all kinds of other things also. Nitrogen, calcium, sodium, phosphorus, potassium. I guess that goes in Tamil also. There's probably in the modern age lead, mercury. Yeah, lead and mercury. There's words for that, yeah. Mercury in Sanskrit is, what's that? Paral? Something like that. Lead, I can't remember. Or in Vedic science, there are main 24 bhutas of the body or constituents. There are different systems. According to Sankhya philosophy, there are different systems of enumerating the elements of the body. So, according to the Parashara Bhata, the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya commentator on this Sri Vishnu Sahasranama, he has listed 24 tattvas that constitute the whole universe. And from these elements, the elements are spread everywhere, and certain elements combine to form different bodies. So it's a similar idea to that in modern science. There is lots of carbon and hydrogen and oxygen all over the place, and some of it forms as the body. So the 24 tattvas, or we could say elements or bhutas that he has listed here are as follows. Number 1 is Prakriti and 2 is Mahat. So these words have different meanings in different contexts, or maybe interpreted in different ways. Basically, Prakriti means the whole underlying nature of everything. And Mahat or Mahat Tattva means Prakriti which is in a state of undeveloped state about to be developed. Then there is Ahankar. I think you all know the word Ahankar. That's an understood word, is it? No.
Understood, but slightly different. They take more towards the ego.
Yeah. Oh, I see. So Ahankar, another word for that is, a very similar word is Asmita. Do you have that word? No, probably not. That's pretty technical. Abhimanam. So the concept. Well, Abhiman means the conception of oneself as, But Ahankar means that which makes me. So there are two related meanings here. One is the sense that of identifying myself with the body and mind. That's more like Abhimanam. And then another is that sense of pride. I'm a great person, like that Garbham you said. Dambho, Darpa, Abhimanascha. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that the demoniac people, they're very proud, conceited, arrogant. These are Damba, Darpa, Abhimana. Number 4 is sound, although it's written in English. I don't know which word is given in Sanskritam, but there's a whole science, Vedic science of understanding sound also. Yeah, there are different words, Nada, Shabda, Dhvani, but in technical sense they all have different meanings actually. They're used in modern languages interchangeably, but actually they all have different meanings. Then there is ether, akasha, touch, sparsha, air. See, these are all connected. Air is ether and sound are connected. They're the indriyas and the technically called indriyas and tanmatras. So ether, touch, air, sight and light, they're intimately connected. Taste and water, the sense of smell and the earth. Earth here means the element earth. Mind, the eye, the ear, these are the Gyanendriyas. Nose, mouth, skin, tongue, then hand, leg. The tongue is given as one, but it's both a Gyanendriya and a Karmendriya. It both has this sense of taste, and it also has action by speaking. So the hand, leg, anus and genital. So these all constitute the body. How does it all hold together? What relationship, just like I touch something, or we can hear something, and how does that relate to this body and the mind? If we take, according to modern scientific understanding, this to be some chemicals, and this touches some other chemicals, then how is that registered in the consciousness? Now there may be very many discussions of this, and we may say that, well, there are nerves and impulses travel along the nerves, and then they make some impression in the brain. There's one philosopher come psychologist from Australia, whose name I just don't remember just now. It might come to me. He asked this question, and his whole life has been based on this. His whole career as a scholar has been based on this question. He says there is a very hard question, difficult question to answer. That, okay, we're discussing the mind and the experiences and the thoughts and so on. But what exactly is it that experiences and thinks and so on? I wrote to him and I told him, actually this question has been answered long ago. You have to see the Vedic literature. But he's a mundane scholar, so he's not allowed to look at the Vedic literature to try to solve such a question. A mundane scholar can look at the Vedic literature, but not to try to solve scientific questions. But all the answers to all the questions are there in the Vedic literature. So what is the hard question? It's a very hard question for them, because they won't be able to answer it without accepting the nature of the Atma. But they are atheistic by outlook, so it's always going to be a hard question for them. They're trying to find another answer, but another answer doesn't exist, and they won't accept the actual answer. So it's always going to be a difficult question. So how does the Atma, the consciousness, interact with all these material elements? The interface is Vishnu. He holds everything together. We may explain the body in various scientific terms, but who set it up and who made the system by which the whole body works? And how is it that consciousness enlivens the whole body? The answer is Vishnu. Simple. It's not hard at all. It's only hard for people who don't want to accept it. We can understand the nature of Vishnu simply by hearing and accepting. The scientists, they study the body and so many other things, and they get the best of them get a Nobel Prize for finding out something very small in the whole cosmic arrangement. If they can understand something or discover something very small in this vast cosmic arrangement, they're given a Nobel Prize as the best and most intelligent. But they're so unintelligent that for all their intelligence, they won't accept that there's a great intelligence behind it all. It's amazingly unintelligent. And just goes to show the statements of Bhagavad Gita, Mayaya aparata jnana, those whose they may be very learned and intelligent, but their actual knowledge is covered by illusion. Nahang prakasha sarvasya yoga maya samavrita murdho yang nabijanati loko mama janavyayam. Krishna says, I am not manifest, I'm not revealed to everyone. I'm covered by my illusory potency. And therefore, the foolish people cannot recognize me, they cannot know me, even though I am unborn and undying. So what holds everything together? How are our bodies working? It's all going on by Krishna's direction. Maya dhakshena prakritihi. This whole material cosmos is overseen by Krishna. Overseen, it's the same word in Sanskrit. Adhyaksha means literally the above eyes, oversee. So sarva bhuta prit means he who brings together and holds together and nourishes in that particular format the body, the elements of the body. Krishna controls every person. He controls every body. Mayadhyakshena prakritihi suyate sacharacharam. He brings into being that which is moving and non-moving. Material energy brings it into being and he supervises it. So he, from the massive level, the whole cosmic creation, he brings it into being and oversees it. Down to the smallest, that's paramanu, the very smallest element. So the movement at the cosmic scale, at the micro scale, at the nano scale, and everything in between, that is all held together by Krishna. So how everything is moving in our body, it's all supervised by Krishna. He's another name of Vishnu given in Vishnu Sahasranama is prana. So he is life. He gives life. All the material elements, they appear to be, or they themselves don't have life, but when they come together in a body, they are enlivened with the life force. The Gauriya Vaishnava commentator on Vishnu Sahasranama is Baladev Vidyabhushan. He gives a completely different understanding of this name. He gives the idea that Vrindavan is the very body of Krishna. So Krishna manifests Vrindavan, which is non-different from him. It's non-different from his transcendental form. Oh, and then another commentator gives another understanding. Actually, it's connected with the main understanding that all the different bhutas or elements, they all have different devatas overseeing them. So the sense of sight is connected with Surya Devata, the sun. The water within the body is connected with Varuna. The mind is connected with the moon. The skin with Vayu, the sense of touch, comes from the air element. So Krishna, he maintains he's the protector. He gives power to all the different devatas. So even if we consider that the body is overseen and conducted by the different devatas, they do so under Krishna's direction and under his protection. So you may say, well, this is all interesting, what's it got to do with our practical life? Well, we have to see Krishna everywhere and in everything. So we can consider, instead of thinking about so many nonsense things, we can consider how the very body which we are presently inhabiting, that is all held together and directed by Krishna. That is a fact. Generally people like to think about their body, or practically we're forced to think about our body. We have to feed it and clothe it and bathe it. But we can always remember that, first of all, I'm not this body anyway, and all the functions of the body, it's all held together by Krishna. And especially the human body, as Krishna states in Srimad Bhagavatam, is meant for self-realization. Labdva sudur labamidang bahu sambhavante manusham arthadam anityam apihadhira turnam yatetana patedam mritya yava nishrayasaya vishaya kalu sarvata syat. After many lives, after many births, we're now in the fortunate position of having a human body, which is very valuable. Human body is very valuable. And you say, how is it valuable? You just said it's carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. That's not valuable. I said there's some lead there, but there's not enough lead to make it valuable. Even if you take deep breaths of Chennai air, you wouldn't be able to accumulate enough lead to make it valuable. Human life is valuable because it gives us the opportunity to get out of the cycle of birth and death. But it won't last very long. If we come back in, say, 50 years, then 50 years from now, many of us won't be present in this particular body that we're now inhabiting. And if Pakistan actually have their nuclear missile thing together, then maybe in 50 days we all won't be here. Anyway, 50 years, 50 days, 50 seconds, we don't know how long we're going to live. But it's not long, whatever it is. Therefore, Krishna says, a sober person, that means someone who's not agitated by the lower modes of nature, rajaguna, or completely dulled by the tamoguna, they should consider that what I have to do before I die, which won't be very long, so that I don't have to get born again. Idhira, a sober person, considers that although the inclination is there to enjoy the senses, I already did that in so many lives, and I can do so in so many other lives also, in future. But I can also in this life enjoy sense gratification. I can try at least. But an intelligent person doesn't live his life for sense gratification. He utilizes this life, rare, valuable, short life, for understanding Krishna and getting out of the cycle of birth and death. Krishna holds the body together. And there will come a time when, by Krishna's arrangement, this body will cease to exist. When the time is up for this body, then Krishna stops holding everything together. Soon as the body dies, all the if it's not tended to immediately, all the flies will start to come. Flies, crows, dogs, vultures. Kak, kak. Kak, kak. Yeah, if we're not careful, we take the body of a kak, crow, in the next life. Just as I came here, I saw one boy playing with some dog. He should be trained to utilize his life for understanding Krishna. If he becomes attached to a dog, he'll become a dog. People don't know this science. So you try to learn that. You study Srila Prabhupada's books. By studying these books, you'll become the best educated person. By studying in the schools and colleges and universities, you can get a PhD in foolishness. PhD, you know so many things, but you don't even know who you are, where you're coming from, or where you're going to. If we meet someone and say, who are you? I don't know. Where are you coming from? I don't know. What are you doing here? I don't know. We think this is a first-class fool. So people give an answer, oh, I am such and such, in relationship to the body. They give an answer, but it's the wrong answer. They don't know who they are. So understand who we are, who is Krishna, how we can go to Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Are there any questions about this?
Hare Krishna. Vishnu is holding all these material elements. At the early stage of devotional life, when we are struggling with some disease or troubles through this body, shall we worship Vishnu to get out of that, to continue our devotional service?
Do you want to say in Tamil? Well, we can pray to Krishna, who is Vishnu, that please give me better health so I can serve you better. But a better understanding is that Krishna's put me in this situation for some reason, to teach me some lesson or whatever. Due to my previous activities, I'm now in some suffering position. So let me accept that and go on serving Krishna. In this regard, the statement of the Bhagavatam, Brahma speaking to Krishna, is as follows: Tatenu kampan susamikshamano bhunjana evatma kritang vipakam vidvagva pubhe vidatan namaste jiveta yo muktipade sadaya bhag. Which means that anyone who accepts their present position, I'm in this position because of what I did previously, so let me accept what is due to me. But let me go on serving Krishna with mind, body and words, accepting that whatever He gives me is His mercy upon me. This attitude so much obliges Krishna. He feels so happy with this that He guarantees a place in His abode to such a devotee. That doesn't mean that if the body is sick, we shouldn't try to get better, or that we shouldn't try to maintain the body in good health. But we don't become obsessed by that. And situations beyond our control, we understand this is what is due to me by Krishna's arrangement. Our commitment is to serve Krishna in all circumstances. Yeah. Anything else? You may think, well, this is a very high level. You may think, well, this is a very high level, I'm on a low level. But we can come to a higher level, why not? If intrinsically we all have the possibility to come to the highest level, if we discuss these things regularly, then our consciousness will change and we can come to the highest level. Yeah, then? Give this mic to him. Well, if you pass it over and you move a little bit. Oh, you have it there.
Speak a little louder.
I was just thinking for the recording.
But many times we see devotees considering the value of human life, take up the devotional service. But actually before coming to devotional service itself, they know how much value is this human form. But
before they come to devotional service?
Initial stages of devotional service.
They do know or they don't know?
They do know. When they actually read Prabhupada's books or understand, they come to know that how much value this human form of life is. But after coming to devotional service, they take up petty issues and childishly they do these Vaishnava brothers. And then again go into a still more lower stages. So how to avoid this? Because after knowing all
how to avoid it? Well, if you see the problem, just don't do it, that's all. If you can see the problem, then you already got the solution. Some people learn to drive, but they drive into the hole. They drive over the edge of a cliff. How to avoid it? Well, if you know the danger is there, then don't drive over the edge of a cliff. Be aware, be alert. Okay, we'll finish that because some devotees have to go a long way. So we'll finish. Some devotees have to drive back 1.5 hours. Okay, you can announce the books and if anyone wants to take, I can sign the book. If anyone wants to take photos, they can take photos.